Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is Sir Cowdog, and this is the episode of Scholar of the First Sin for Aldia's Keep. And one of the first things I need to do here, though, is spend a bunch of these souls. So give me just a second here to burn through all of these. Should ultimately result in quite a bit. So Aldia's Keep is almost to the end of the game. There are a few more zones, and it is a little bit of a longer one. Even though the zone itself is not that big, there is a lot of things to do there. So, there are a lot of things to do there. Pardon my English. Okay, 271,000 souls to spend. What I need to do, I think, is get my adaptability up to the point where I have 23, I'm sorry, not 23, 103 agility, soft cap strength at 40, and more hit points. Levels are getting a little bit expensive here. So, okay. The way to get to Aldia's Keep after you have completed the Undead Crypt is to go to the same bonfire that you would use to go to the castle, which is the Ruined Fork Road. And instead of going right into the foggy area of the Shaded Woods, or left to not Lothric Castle, jeez. Been playing too much Dark Souls 3 lately. Vendrick's Castle, I'm going to go straight. And there's going to be a couple of these little gremlin dudes here. And they have an attack which will add Petrify buildup on you. 1 or 2, not a problem, but in the area just past the door, locked by the King's Ring, there's a pack of 5 of them, and that can be potentially dangerous, so keep that in mind as you head into the next area. You might want to equip Petrify Resist gear or the Anti-Petrify Ring. As you can see, even if you're hitting them, they can get in hits sometimes, and it gives you about 25% of the buildup needed to petrify you. And if the bar fills up, that is an instant death. So, definitely something to be avoided. But, right in front of the door is another Cyan Knight, or Sin Knight, or however you're supposed to pronounce that. Go ahead and take him out, and then equip the King's Ring. That should open the door. You can see the lock start to spin, and as soon as it sinks in, you can put your regular ring back on. Alright. So, as I mentioned, you can see the little clouded dust cloud things over there. That indicates one of those gremlins. Use your R2 or whatever long range attack you have, because getting surrounded by lots of those guys is a very, very quick way to get petrified. Now, I don't know if you noticed there, that weapon I just picked up. No, was it the Drake Keeper? Great Axe? So, it's a pretty cool axe. The gremlins can have a potential, I think, to drop any item in the game. You can get extra... Man, that's a cool moveset too. Wow. If you really, really, really want to spend a lot of time farming, like if you want to dual wield, Black Knight great swords or something, this is the place that you would want to farm those. Anyway, so got a Mimic. Go ahead and take care of him. Giving you the Malformed Skull, which is actually, I can't remember if it's a shield or a claw weapon. I think it's a shield. And the Dark Helmet, which is the final piece of the Dark set, so if you want to cosplay as Skeletor, that's where you get that helmet. But
Who are you?
here we have Lucadil. This is the
Oh,
final place in the game we will ever encounter
no.
her. This is the completion of her quest line, and she will give you
Please
her entire armor set and sword. So,
consider.
no spoilers. Alright, on to the keep itself. Right here, we've got an item in the fountain. And right around this corner here is another item. It's a twilight herb. Alright, and in this hallway just past this wagon is Aslatiel of Mira, which I believe is Lucadil's brother. Wait till he stands up all the way and you can just hit him in the back. If you time it perfectly, you can get a backstab off. Aha, like so. Otherwise, you can just R1 spam this guy to death. He is actually not very difficult, despite what Lucadil says about him being a master swordsman. Alright, here's the hallway itself. Giant dragon skeleton. Now, throughout the entire level, there are going to be, in various locations, these braziers, messages that says, "Don't you dare." And what happens when you light those up, you'll notice that a red forlorn invader shows up. There are 4 of these, and something you need to be aware of while fighting these, if you watch my durability bar on my weapon, if you swing and miss these guys, your durability drops significantly for some reason. I don't know if that's a bug or if that's intended as to an added layer of difficulty, but if your weapon is continuously breaking and you're not sure why, probably it's because of missing attacks on these guys. But take them out. And then over here, we have a very interesting NPC. I can't remember what his name is, but he has 2 personalities. One that you will talk to if you are hollowed, like my character currently is. The other, if you are human, you will have a completely different personality. The hollowed version is a murderous assassin.
Well, you're nicely hollowed up.
And I believe it's the same voice actor that does Orbeck of Vinheim in Dark Souls 3, but don't quote me on that. Their voices just sound really similar. The human version will plead with you not to let him out of his cage and may even sell you some items as a merchant. The hollowed version wants you to kill some people and complete missions for him. So, in this case, I'm going to agree to do his bidding. And the reason why is because I don't actually need to kill people. I just need to bring him the items that he thinks represents killing. So, in this case, the first one is the small ladder statue bought from Gilligan back in Majula. It gives you the Dispelling Ring. The second target is Kale, also back in Majula, and you want his helmet. And it's very easy to get that simply by talking to Kale once you've defeated all 4 of the main bosses of the game. In fact, I could go do that now. I do want to clear a couple of things before I get there. So, the other side of this room, you'll notice there's a bunch of messages on the ground. Pull back, don't do it. Final message, don't you dare. So if you pull that lever, it actually lets that assassin hollow guy out, and he doesn't become friendly or show gratitude. He'll actually invade you in several very inconvenient locations if you do that. So I recommend against pulling the lever, but it's up to you. Next up, a room with several mirrors on the wall. 3 of these mirrors contain, I don't know what to call them, trapped souls. They will, of course, break out. You wait till they put their weapon up on their shoulder, and then you can backstab. If you attack before then, they just don't take damage for some reason. Alright, take these guys out one at a time. You might be tempted to run across the room and grab the loot, but then of course you'll be fighting 3 fairly high hit point NPCs. Whoops, attacked a little bit too soon. But as you can see, the stone ring is doing its work by keeping those enemies staggered. Last guy. The loot I just picked up there was the Southern Ritual Band +2 and a petrified dragon bone. Alright, boom. Oh, and he got an attack off. That's impressive. Anyway, now that all 3 of those are down, it is safe to open the chest. The bright bug. Okay, at the top of these stairs there is a large ogre that's petrified. You can spend a fragrant branch if you want. I don't recommend it, since you can very easily get past that spot by going up these stairs. And as you can see, there's no loot, there's nothing up here that you need to get, so spending a branch there is pretty much a complete waste. Now, you may be tempted to go inside the cage here and fight this large basilisk. I would wait to do that, and it will make sense why in a little bit. There's also 2 more petrified guys. Once again, they are there mostly just to waste your fragrant branches. I don't recommend you do it at all. Anyway, over here is our second torch and our second invader. And because my weapon durability is kind of low, I'm going to go ahead and play it safe. Use some repair powder. Grab the chest first also. Two bonfire ascetics. Let's see what the message says. Don't you dare. These guys can potentially hit really hard, so you may take a little bit of practice to learn the range and when to attack, but mostly R1 spam works really well. You can just make sure to leave yourself a little bit of stamina to dodge if you need to. One more. There we go. Okay, that is 2 out of 4. Heading all the way back over here, you want to run inside and pull this lever. That will give you access to the next area. And there's a lockstone right here that I prefer to use to light up the hallway. I feel it just makes it a little bit easier to see. Behind pictures, you will always find these guys. These guys can potentially drop petrified dragon bones, so they may be worth farming. Although the next area, the Dragon Eyrie, has quite a number of dragon bones to just pick up off the ground. So, once again, I will leave it up to you if you want to farm them or not. In here, smash this bookcase, grab the lockstone, and right down here in this wall is our second bonfire. So I'm going to take this opportunity really quickly to return to Majula. Now, I believe that I haven't spoken to Kale at all yet in town, so this may require an additional trip.
You've made it.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to do this and then spam through all of his... Okay.
It was blocked. Did...
I'll do a couple of quick tasks back at Aldia's Keep. Starting with lighting a torch. Our third brazier that we need to light is right here. Don't you dare. This time it's a guy with a normal forlorn weapon. Okay, with him out of the way, open up this door. This yellow goop in here is actually acid, which will eat away at the durability of your equipment. So you want to use your bow to pull these creatures out of here. Block the first attack and then just lay into them. It may be faster to just use poison arrows. Since they can also run up against these spike walls, which will damage them. So I'm going to take this opportunity to remove all my gear while that guy burns down. Perfect. Some souls. A couple of divine blessings, and I believe this is a dragon bone and soul geyser spell. Very, very good spell for sorcerer builds. So not so much for a melee build. Alright. Let's head back to Majula, see if I can get Kale to give me his helmet. Now, alternatively, if you don't want to go through these steps, you can just murder Kale in the bottom of the mansion here. Might be faster.
But there is something greatly comforting about that flame. It seems to fulfill something I would not... It was blocked, but it was...
Maybe I'm forgetting a step in the process, but it's possible I need the soul from the boss at the end of Aldia's Keep. He's not going to give me the item I want, so that's a little annoying, but welcome to Dark Souls completion. Alright, I'm going to put my gear back on. Oops, wrong axe. Kind of wish Dark Souls had a loadout button. I could save specific sets of gear, but I suppose the PvP players would really love that one. Hot swapping in the middle of combat without going to the start menu. Okay. Back to Aldia's Keep. Regardless, the final two items that you need to complete the Assassin's Quest is Kale's helmet and then the Firekeeper feather that she gives you in the next area. So I'm going to have to wait till then to complete it anyway. Alright, back up the stairs. This door, as you can see, is chained and locked. You won't be able to get through it. You actually need to have one of these big guys smash the door for you. But what I can do is light this final torch. Invader number 4. And he really, really likes to roll. Okay. So, once you've gotten all 4 of those guys defeated, head all the way back to the big room with the dragon bones. Run all the way down the stairs. Jump over the bone. And as you can see, the statue is starting to move, or the bones are starting to move. Position yourself right here inside the door, and you can watch the whole thing without taking any damage. Might want to turn off screen shake, though. But that gives you Aldia's key, and that will let us access the rest of the area. Lots and lots of running. Okay, so up ahead on the right there is a door which previously was locked, but now that we have Aldia's key, we can get in. There are several chests in this room, and I'm going to tell you right up front, that every single one of them is a mimic. None of them are safe to open, so the whole time you're in here, there's a warlock over there that will be shooting spells at you. Shouldn't be too difficult to dodge. Just strafe to the left or right and take care of his minions. Try to avoid walking into the cage with the gargoyle. Try to avoid hitting any of the chests so you can take this guy out first and stop his annoying spells. Okay. Make sure you back up to give enough room. Mimics have a weird phantom range that allows them to hit and grab you in their initial reveal, so just back up really, really far. Alright, more bonfire aesthetics, more dragon bones. I think that's all of them. Yep. Alright. More repair powder. There's going to be a lot of fighting up ahead. That was not repair powder. It was a torch. Alright, starting with the gargoyle. It's actually hitting fairly hard. Okay. So, when you pull this lever, it is going to open all of the cages in the zone. Start by getting this guy. Since we don't want him running around at the same time we're dealing with his buddy there that's in the cage. Looks like he already went out and smashed a basilisk open. Don't get caught by that. That's a game-ending move. It's one of the most dangerous things the big boys have. They grab you and snack on your head. Okay. Now that that's all out of the way, top off my life. Grab the soul, and it's safe to, well, not exactly safe, but it's the best time to pull the lever. Alright. So, we have a mimic. Come on, mimic, get off stuck on the door, and it looks like you can use this door as a choke point. In fact, I'm just going to sit here and abuse the fact that they can't reach me. Fill everybody full of poison arrows. As you can see, it's kind of a madhouse down there. There are enemies everywhere, so you want to be real smart about how you fight them. It's very, very easy to get overwhelmed and killed here. Where did that big boy go? You want to make sure you leave at least one of the big guys alive. Since we need him to smash through the locked door I showed you earlier with the chains across it. Okay. Careful not to fall down the hole. That's the acid pool near the bonfire. So, what we need to do is get the attention of the ogre. Nope. I guess we'll fight this guy first. Now be real careful with this guy because even though he moves slow, he can hit very, very hard. And you don't want to fight him at the same time as the ogre either. Well, more poison arrows, I guess. Alternatively, you can misdirect. Use the other door. What we want is to lure the big guy down here. Come on, dude. It's taking all day. So you need him to stop being a jerk. Take care of this guy first. Okay. I wish that there was an easier way to do this, but unfortunately this room is a little chaotic, so... So, what you need to do, finally, is get this guy to attack the door like that. And then you're free to kill him. Okay, finally, with all of that out of the way, you can continue on to get the rest of the critters in this room. This guy will spew acid clouds like so. Fortunately doesn't have very many hit points, so just light him up with arrows. And then lastly, oh, come on. What is he doing? Black Witch's Staff, which, by the way, is a pretty good staff, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, allows you to cast both sorceries and pyromancies. Oh, sorceries, miracles, and hexes. Now, you're not going to do quite as much damage as a more specialized staff, like a Staff of Wisdom for sorcerers, but the ability to cast all three of those with one catalyst is pretty good. Okay, next up is the boss. So, you may be tempted to go rest at the bonfire. If you do that, all of these enemies I've spent time killing will respawn. So, up to you if you want to take that risk. Personally, I'm pretty confident of being able to defeat the boss since it's just another fire-breathing wyvern, the same as the one we fought in Hyde's Tower of Flame. Also, don't get smashed by this guy like I did. I always forget that there's two of them. And if you remember what I said earlier about if you let the assassin out, he'll invade you at the worst possible times. Imagine dealing with the hallway like I just did, but having to deal with an invader that's spamming spells at you the whole time too. That's what happens. So, like I said, probably best not to let the guy out of his cage. Anyway. This wyvern has a couple of new moves that the other one didn't, because he has more room. He will fly around a lot, get up on the walls and such, but the general strategy is still the same. You just want to chop his legs. When he raises a leg, just switch to the other one. Alright, so he's going to fly off. You want to sprint directly away from him. Usually he's going to breathe fire. Like so. Just wait for him to land back on the ground and then get beneath him again. And you should have him down in no time at all. And that is all of the enemies in Aldia Keep. Obviously there's a couple of side quests with the assassin and such that I can still do, but I won't be able to complete it until I finish the Dragon Eyrie, which is the next zone. And if I'm not mistaken, you can see the shadow of a guy here. It's another one of our friends with the smooth and silky stones. So that's going to do it for the video. I will eventually do a cleanup video where I cover all of the stuff I've skipped. I've got to still do the Covenant of Pilgrims of the Dark. I've got to complete that Assassin's Quest and a couple of other things that I just need specific items for. So that will all be covered in a cleanup video at the end of the game. So if you're looking for that, then skip forward in the playlist. Meanwhile, this elevator is taking forever. Okay. Dragon Airy.
Bearer of the curse. Take
Etc.,
me,
etc. Aged
righteousness.
feather. Okay. Fortunately, the first bonfire is right here, so that is where I'm going to cut the video. And as usual, I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.